Hi, my name is Sachin. I was born in Haryana. For last 3-4 years, I have been cycling and walking across India. Right now, we are in Rishikesh Mox Cafe, and we are filming for Daryl Films.
Hello.
Hi.
What's your experience been like in Rishikesh?
Yesterday only we were talking about how would we define our experience in Rishikesh, but we came to conclusion that it's almost impossible to talk about such a powerful place. But there's something about Rishikesh which always keeps me here, and the most important reason I'm in Rishikesh is obviously Ganga. Yeah, when I think of Ganga, I think of nothing else but Ganga. And there has been so many amazing connections and so many amazing revelations I had when I spent my time with her, and basically in that moment of time I get rid of my mind. In all other moments I have always my mind with me, but when I'm with Ganga I kind of lose it for a while, and then I had no sense of being. And when I have no sense of being, I think I can see in those moments, I can see true of who I am, which is very hard to explain again.
We got to know each other 4 or 5 days ago, I think.
Yeah.
And we talked a little bit about your childhood up to a certain point.
Yeah.
And what if you just start with what it was like as a child, and maybe explore a little bit the story behind your growing up.
Yeah. So I was born in a village in Haryana. It's a village of 20,000 people, and so I was born in one of the street, and I was limited to that street only for a very, very long time. And then when I started like walking nicely, when I was like 7-8 year old, we used to have buffaloes at our home. So every morning and evening we have to take those buffaloes to the pond and holidays we have to take them to the fields to graze them. So that was the time when I like went away from that street I used to belong, because otherwise nobody will take me away from that street, and we were like strictly prohibited to go away from our home, because it was always spoken that never go away from your home, it's not safe. And then obviously we used to go to school, which was outside the village, like little outside the village. And then there was TV, mostly only one channel we used to have, national TV, and sometime in the rainy season we'll catch Metro, which was another channel, and every day we'll catch that another channel. Like that was wow, we got that channel, like that will give us
2 channels, huh?
yeah, 2 channels, and that will make our day, so we'll always used to wait for the rain, because we can explore different things through TVs. So we used to have these few serials like Krishna, story of Krishna in Ramayana and Mahabharata, and there was this Alif Laila, which is based on Arabian Nights. And so Sindbad was my favorite character. So every time I will watch Sindbad, like, wow, this guy is amazing. He does all these cool things. He never settled down, and he had such a cool sword which can do anything. And so every time he's lost, someone comes and like give him tools to fight with whatever is coming. At the same time, the coolest thing about him was when he's done with something he needs, he will give it to someone who is in need. So he will never like hold on anything. And somehow that thing like used to strike me like a lot. And then there were movies like every Friday night 9:30 we used to have this film, and like we will always like I will make sure that I watch that film, and until I haven't watched that some other film, I will talk about that film. Like I used to love narrating the story to kids who haven't seen the film, And I remember sometimes there were like 20 kids just listening my story, and I can always manipulate. Like every time I will find a film boring, I will pitch my own story into it. And so
Nice.
someone who has watched the film, they will say like, no, it's not like that. But nobody will hear him because my film was more interesting than the film they have watched. And like I used to love it so much.
So you consider yourself a natural storyteller?
I don't know, I think everyone is born to be a storyteller. Like everyone is born storyteller. And especially when you are born in India, you have to tell stories. Like
Yeah.
like you end up like you ask someone something like, can I get a water? They will tell their story about different kinds of water they have tasted. Like like you ask someone something and they will never give you an answer, but they will give you a story.
Story, yeah.
So after a point in your life, you are so filled with stories, and so you also end up talking about it because you know nothing but stories.
So back to your childhood, what happened after the Friday night movie?
Yeah. So after Friday night movie, I wouldn't sleep. Obviously, I will like try to imagine the different endings of the movie and how like different it could have been. Like I always used to play around them, like what else could have happened. And there was this concept of VCR also. I think I told you already.
What's a VCR?
I don't remember the full form anymore, but it's something video compact something. So it's
Recorder.
yeah, video cassette recorder. Yeah,
I know what they are.
yeah. So I remember there were like 80 rupees. These shops used to charge to rent for a night, and with a color TV it was 120 rupees. So if there's a color TV and VCR, it was the best night,
Yeah.
So like we'll stand in front of the VCR shop like and see who is renting the place, who is renting the VCR, and then we'll follow the person and then we'll find the house. We'll come back to our home and then we'll eat, and when everybody is asleep, we'll go to that house, and because it was a private VCR, so they won't let us enter, but then we'll like, please let me watch for 10 minutes. At least let me watch the last fight, like when hero is killing all the villain and getting the girl. So like I had never been as passionate for anything as like watching a film. And then the grandpa stories also, like I had this like grandpa from neighborhood who will always tell me the tales of, like he was a woodcutter, and
Your grandfather.
he was not my real grandfather, but he was from the neighborhood.
Okay.
So in summer we never had electricity, so we always used to sleep outside, and my deal with grandpa was I will give him a feet massage and make his hookah. In return, he will tell me a story. So I remember he used to sleep by telling a story, usually the other way around. Like when old people tell a story, kids sleep.
You would fall asleep.
Yeah,
Never.
but like he will fall asleep and I will like, wake up, like tell me what happened next. And then sometime we'll be annoyed, but then it's like, make me another hookah and I will tell you. And sometime it will go until like 1 in the night, and I'm making him hookah, he's telling me story. And then next morning I will like, and he always used to mix up stories, and because he was old.
Was he a good storyteller?
He was amazing storyteller, but he will like never remember
Yeah.
the characters. And so then I will try to correct him up, like, no, this is not, this is like, it's like, what does it matter? Yeah, but he was amazing. So we have this local hero. He's called Gyani Chor. Gyani means like wise, and Chor means thief, like wise thief. So he was like Robin Hood of our state back in those days, and so there are like so many stories about him, and everybody loved him. So like who doesn't love Robin Hood, right? So he was like kind of Robin Hood. So I remember the first thing in my life I wanted to be was like a thief, because like he was loved by everyone. He was so brave. Even God loves him, and he used to help everyone, and he used to teach lesson to the bad guys. So once I tried to steal something from home, but I was caught. I was easily caught, and then
Good storyteller, but not a good thief.
yeah, I could never be a good thief. And then I had this friend who was a truck driver. So there was this thing written on his truck like goods courier. Like for me, there was no difference between good and goods because English was not the language. So I thought goods is like good, like a good, and courier and carrier. So I thought being a truck driver is a good career. So then he used to tell me story that he has seen the snow, he has seen the rivers and mountains, how he escaped a policeman. Like it sounded so amazing, and it was amazing. I think most of his stories were not true, but they inspired me to be a truck driver. So once I ran away from home, again my family found me. So
Why did you run away?
Huh?
Why did you run away?
I wanted to be a truck driver.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so but then I was caught, and my family again like me to school. But then we used to have these like story books, and then like someday a teacher told us a story. Like usually there was no storytelling, but one teacher, he told a story, and I was so fascinated, like wow. And then I asked him like, where did you get to know this story? He said like, you can know more stories if you read. So suddenly I started reading. Like until 2nd standard I know nothing. In 3rd standard I could read the books of 8th standard because there were stories into it.
Wow.
And because towards that approach to reading stories, I started reading. And then you always find a world in the books.
So were you reading in Hindi or English or both?
So I was reading in Hindi.
Yeah.
So even the English books, so there was like translation in the guides and everything. So I will always read the Hindi version. But like story is a story, doesn't matter which language. But what happened is like I was exposed to, let's say, English books, even though I was in 3rd standard, because I was reading the books of 8th, 9th and 10th, only the Hindi translation though. But when you see something, you become familiar. So the moment I was put into, like the moment I had English as my subject, it came easy to me as compared to other students. So that helped, obviously. And yeah, but